Welcome to another episode of The G and Things. Sorry about the lighting in this video. It's kind of dark out today, and it's also getting cold out now here in southern Ontario. This video I'm going to be showing the quickest and easiest way I find to swap an engine on a push mower lawnmower. Alright, so stay tuned for that. Okay, the lighting is a little better here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just swapping these two engines out on these lawnmowers, like I've already said. The one lawnmower just needs way more work than it's worth. The other lawnmower, same thing. So anyways, I'm swapping the two out, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this. What I think is the easiest way to do this. It takes me no time. Watch and see what I do, guys. Okay, I'm starting with this lawnmower right here. Okay, I'm going to be taking the engine off of this one. No good. Okay, the only tools you're going to need for this job is a pair of side cutters, just as zip ties. You're going to need a 1/2 inch socket, 3/8 drive. I use an extension. Okay, use a ratchet. Okay, you're going to need a 5/8 impact socket, 1/2 inch drive is what I use. Okay, and an impact. That's about all the tools you're going to need for this. Okay, I'm advising you guys to drain your fuel and oil out of the engines before you do what I'm about to do, okay? Okay, so what I usually do is I just stand the lawnmower up on its end like this, prop it up against something, okay? And you're going to grab your impact wrench, okay, make sure it's going the right direction, and you're going to take your blade off, alright? Be right back. Okay, the bolt is out. I left it on here just so I can show you guys. So you take the bolt out, the retainer piece is going to be there with it. Set that aside, you're going to need that. Okay, take the blade off, okay, inspect. Next, you're going to take your 1/2 inch socket on your 3/8 drive ratchet, and you're going to take out the bolts. The reason I don't use an impact on these is because the block is aluminum, and it'll very easily strip the threads right off the block. And then you're just into putting a bolt and nut up through, and it's a whole, you just don't want to do that, okay? So just break them loose at least with something first so you can get a feel for how tight they are, how rusted in they are, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take all these bolts out as quick as you can. But you're going to leave the top bolt the way your mower is standing, so it would be this one, in but loose, okay, and then you're just going to leave another one in on a couple threads just for extra precaution, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to set the lawnmower back down. So now I've got the lawnmower sat back down on its wheels, okay, and the motor is loose, okay, it moves all around, okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to put the motor back like this, okay, and then you're just going to hold the motor with one hand, letting the shaft sit on there like that. Reach down, take out those other bolts. Then you're going to set it back down like that, and you're going to lift your motor off. You may have to wiggle the engine because it's going to bind a bit. Save your bolts, don't lose them. Don't leave them in your yard so you'll run over them with the lawnmower. Put them through the window of your house. Okay, now you're going to set the lawnmower back down, and what you normally do is now lift off the engine like that, okay? Lift it up. Engine out. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do before you do anything else I've showed you here, but I've gotten sidetracked because of making the video, is take your all your your pull cord here, and what I do, instead of letting it go back in and take the risk of just not having enough room, I just wrap it around the gas cap here, okay? It just saves the springs. Sometimes the springs will be old, and when they move that much more, okay, they just don't like it. Alright, next I'm going to take the side cutters. I'm going to pop cut off these zip ties that hold the engine brake on. Sorry, I'm trying to get it in video as I'm doing it. I'm a terrible filmer. Okay, and then what you're going to do, now these clips on here, this one is different, I've never saw this, but by looking through the hole, it looks like it has a hook on it. Most of them are, I'll show you on the other lawnmower, I'm sure, they just pop out, okay? So this one, looks like it lifts up, and then comes out. It might be hard to do with one hand, I've never had this off before. Okay, so like I thought I saw, it has a hook on it. It just bends, turns, goes in that hole, and then turns back around so it can't pull down, okay? Because the object is for this cable to hold from going this way, alright? And you take your brake lever out. Alright, I normally do the same with these. I just wrap them around the engine just to keep everything out of the way, too. I just tuck everything in there, okay? So, something like that. Now, if I can set the camera. So next I have to take the good engine off of the bad lawnmower. Alright, I'll show you that. Okay, here's the lawnmower we're going to be taking the engine off of. This is the good engine, alright? Okay, so I just took the brake cable and the pull cord off, wrapped them around the engine. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing I just showed you, removing the engine, okay? I'll be back when I get the engine off and ready to install on the previous deck you saw. Okay, so I got the deck I want, I got the engine I want, alright? So you got to get the engine, alright? You pick up the engine, take the engine, you put the engine on the lawnmower the way it goes, just this way. Alright, so you got the, I need to, there's some work needs to be done. This one here needs exhaust put back on. It's got this rigged up stud here. It needs to be put on properly. Okay, so you got the lawnmower sitting on there and lined up. Okay, and you're going to grab a bolt. Grab 3 bolts actually, so they're handy. Okay, you're going to tip the engine back like I showed you earlier. Let's see if I can do this. You're going to hold the engine in place. And you're going to line it up, okay? Sometimes this could be a job for 2 people, but if you're capable, you can do it. Make sure you get them in there with your fingers by wiggling the engine so they're not binded. You don't want to cross-thread them. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. I hope so. There, so all the bolts are in. Make sure you tighten them up first. Your ratchet. Make sure it's going the right way. And you tighten. Same as before, you use a ratchet. Impact will strip these out quite easy. unless you have the feel for your impact. And for the purposes of this video, I do it this way. Okay, I have to set the camera back down. Sit it on your knee. Tighten them all down. And we'll do them a few times each because it's going to seat. Okay. Next you're going to put your blade back on. I've got the blade back on. Now I did not record putting the blade back on to show you guys. Okay, I did that on purpose. I just did not want to show putting the blade on. Okay, but I'm going to show everything else. Alright, so next you're going to take your pull cord that you have wrapped around there. Next you put your pull cord on. Okay, I just done that. Alright, tightening up the nut, the wing nut. I'm not the only wing nut here, guys. Look, right there. Haha. Jokes, eh? Okay. Now here's the other type of brake cable holder I was talking about. So that knob on there just shoves in the hole. Sorry guys about the light here. Okay, but it shoves in the hole right there. But before you do that, you want to put your cable end into the brake lever, alright? And then you're going to pop that into the hole, like so, okay? And then you'll take a few zip ties, okay? Zip tie this down out of the way, okay? But that's working order now, okay? The brake works. Look. Pull the lever. Okay, works, alright? Okay? Alright, so there, engine installed. Alright, now what I'm going to do next is, off camera is put a new muffler on here. And I'm going to, might have to re-tap the holes to maybe a bigger size. Drill and tap them out. Okay, I just thought I'd start it up for you guys without the exhaust on it to show you how she works. This is the first time I've ever started this up, okay, since I've done the swap. Three or four primes. Did 5. Okay, there it is. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope somebody can use the information in this video. Remember to subscribe to the GN Things, guys. Take care.